Hey everybody, welcome to another M365.video SharePoint short. This is David Warner. We've all been there at one time or another. We might be a SharePoint developer who's been handed a design to build in SharePoint that is practically impossible to achieve and still follow SharePoint development best practices. Or we might be a designer who's been tasked with designing a world-class SharePoint site, but given no guidance or direction on what the best principles are for a successful SharePoint design. To help improve both of those experiences, we're going to look at some incredible new SharePoint patterns and practices design assets. Now, these assets are made up of Axure library resources, which will allow us to quickly and easily create SharePoint mockups or prototypes, and this will undoubtedly help ensure consistency for any SharePoint project from design to delivery. So in this introductory video, we're going to answer the following questions. What exactly is Axure? What exactly are the PnP design assets that can be used within Axure? Where do we get and how do we load those assets? And then how could we use those assets within Axure for creating some SharePoint mockups and prototypes that will provide that consistency from design to delivery? Let's take a look. So let's first discuss what exactly Axure is. It's a design tool that's available on both Windows and Mac OS that helps you create mockups and prototypes. It also provides the ability to make those prototypes interactive and clickable so that you can emulate what a user's experience would be, maybe from going page to page within SharePoint. And then these prototypes can actually be exported to HTML, among other formats that can be distributed for people to consume. So with that understanding of the software, what exactly are the PnP Axure design assets? Well, they're a collection of pre-designed resources that represent the various pieces that make up the SharePoint modern experience. For example, the page header, list and libraries, web parts, and more. So using this collection of mockup assets with drag and drop simplicity within the Axure software, we can actually quickly and accurately mock up how a SharePoint modern experience site can look. Now, lastly, while the libraries are currently only available in Axure, additional formats are coming soon. So now let's take a look at how we can start utilizing all these tools together. The first thing we'll want to do is go to the Axure website and download the software. You can get a 30-day free trial, and as you can see here, you can download it in Mac or PC. So you just simply want to download it and install it. Now, once we've downloaded the Axure software and installed it, the next step is to go get the Axure library design assets. You can get those from the PnP GitHub repository seen here. I'll include the links, and you just simply need to click on the clone or download, and then you can download as a zip. Now, you can certainly clone these to somewhere on your computer if you'd like, if you already use Git, but you don't need to do that. You can just simply click on the download zip, and then they'll download into wherever your download folder is, and you can unzip them. Now let's jump over to the Axure software and see how to import the various libraries we see here available to us into the software so that we can actually start mocking up our SharePoint sites. Now, before we import the libraries into the Axure software, I did just want to point out that I took the zip file that was downloaded from GitHub and I just went ahead and put it into a folder here on my hard drive. I unzipped all of the files. We can see that each one of these represents the available libraries to us. So we're going to look to this location right here to import those libraries into the Axure software. So we'll just go ahead and close or minimize our window here. And so now we're just simply within the Axure software. I've done nothing but open it. It's a fresh install. To load the libraries, you want to look over here to the left. And you'll see there's a library section. And you just simply click on the menu and select Load Library. Now it's preset to the location where I have my Axure design libraries from the PnP group downloaded and unzipped. And so we'll go ahead and start out with just loading the Microsoft Communications site. We could load all of them if we want, but we'll just start out by simply loading the Communications site library. It'll go ahead and load them, and now we see that they're all available. And you can see that there's lots of categories here for us to choose from. News, communication navigation, events, and more. Now that our communication site library has been added, we can look at the various categories and start using them. The first thing I wanted to point out is there's some instructions here for us. So you can just actually drag them onto a page, and there's some instructions here from the designer of these libraries, DRC Hess. So always good to look here for updated information. So we can go ahead and delete those, and we're not going to actually use them, and we'll close instructions. Now let's see how we can go ahead and start mocking up an actual SharePoint design. First of all, it's good to look that we have multiple pages. We're on the home page, but we could go ahead and create another or utilize one of the existing out-of-the-box pages. So we see we have up to 3 pages to start out with and our home page. We're going to go ahead and just utilize our home page. And let's go ahead and open up the communication navigation category. We're going to start by utilizing the header design within the communication navigation category. As you can imagine, this makes the most sense as any SharePoint site is always going to have the header. So you just go ahead and hover over it and then drag and drop. You can see that we can move it around our palette or our canvas, but we'll go ahead and stick it up into the corner. And we can see that it's going over to the left a little bit, so we'll go ahead and zoom out to 80% so we can see the full amount. Now you can see that each of the elements within this collection is individually accessible. So we can click on the site title and update the name. We click on home or page details or title within the suite bar. Each of these are individual items that we can edit as necessary. We can also see that all of the individual elements are available to us here in the outline section of our software. Now it may be a little hard to determine what's what based on the generic names, but we could group them together as well. So if we just go ahead and select all the items here in the header and select Control G, we can see now they've been put into a single group. And so we can select them if we wanted to. Let's go ahead and continue adding to our mockup. We'll go ahead and close the communication navigation section, and we'll scroll down to the hero full width centered. We'll go ahead and select full width, and we'll start dragging it on. And you can see that it's real nice and easy to align with our header. So we'll go ahead and snap it using the guides. And then it shows us the accurate representation of what the hero web part looks like. And we want to go ahead and drag to increase the size so that we can accurately represent the width. And each of these elements is individually editable. So if we wanted to change the colors or the title to continue to show what our page mockup could really look like within SharePoint, super easy to do. Now we can also go ahead and use the search functionality within our library. So let's say we wanted to add a quick link. I can go ahead and just type quick links, and we can see it filters the available assets within our library to just what matches the search string. So now if I open up quick links, we can see I've got a quick links full width. I'll go ahead and drag that down and align it with my hero. And I've got now what represents a web part of quick links. I hope you found this short tutorial valuable on how you can start utilizing the PnP design assets in combination with the Axure software. While I've only really highlighted a few of the options available to us within the communication site library, as you can see, there's all these other libraries that we have available to us that includes a ton of valuable resources to help create a SharePoint mockup that is accurate and consistent from design to delivery. Here are some useful links to help you get started utilizing the PnP design assets along with the Axure software. The first is the link directly to where you can download all of those design asset libraries. The second is where you can go download the Axure software. Thanks again. Thanks again for watching, and be sure to subscribe in YouTube to get alerts for all my future videos.